I don't think this is an evil girl here. I don't think she's the Antichrist at all. I think she's...
Hi everybody, thank you for coming back. Welcome to live stream day. Exactly 4 hours after this video goes live, it will be live stream time. Regardless of what time zone you are in, 4 hours after this video wraps, it will be live stream time. Videos in my time zone go live at 10 a.m. and then live stream will be happening at 2 p.m. That's Mountain Standard Time. But like I said, regardless of where you're at, 4 hours is live stream time. I'm excited to make shitty artwork with you guys. So come hang out with me. It's going to be very fun. But today we are talking about Danielle Bregoli, otherwise known as Bhad Bhabie, and the Dr. Phil video. A ton of you left comments about this on the first Dr. Phil video we did. I had no freaking idea. I mean, I knew who Bhad Bhabie was, obviously, because I've seen the, like, Catch Me Outside memes, but I didn't realize the depth of this situation. Suffice to say, I was shocked about the extent of this situation. So we're talking about that today. We're going to break this into 2 parts because it's really a lot to cover. So this is part 1. Part 2 will be up soon. So thank you in advance for being patient while we edit and work through the whole process of that. But I'm super excited about it. Let's just jump into it.
Everything has to be Barbara Ann's way or no way. She'll go after me.
Good, bitch.
Like if I tell her like hit me, she'll try to hit me and I gotta like dodge her. Cause if she hits me, I'm giving it to her. I'm pretty violent. I mushed her in the face cause she wouldn't get on my face. Either I'm breaking down her door or she's breaking down my door. I don't stop till I start seeing dents in the door. Cause I knew what I was doing, you did it. She's so over-exaggerated. But she'll be like, oh, she threw boulders at my window. The pebble's like this little. She'll threaten me. If you don't do this or that, then I'm gonna call your PO.
You got one more time to hit me, Danielle. You got one more.
I ran out 4 times in one day. And the cops brought me back every time. She wants me to be sent away. You want me just as bad, put me in jail.
So...
Okay, so first of all, this is an odd affect to be talking about this type of stuff. She seems like delighted by this, which is interesting to me. It's also kind of fascinating to me to hear that mom is, who I would assume is mom, is engaging in this behavior also. It seems a little bit like the like leopards ate my face situation, you know? Like you're being violent towards your child and modeling violent behavior and then you're like, oh no, my child's violent. Like who could have predicted? Like children learn how to deal with their emotions by watching you deal with yours. And so, again, this is the same thing that we talked about in the last video, that if you're not providing your child with alternative coping strategies for big, scary emotions, they're going to do the things that they see you doing. And so it seems a little bit disingenuous to bring your kid on Dr. Phil and be like, it's her, when you're the one who taught her how to do that in the first place. We'll unpack in a minute.
Tell me what you think you're doing that contributes to this chaos and this problem.
I don't behave, I'm disrespectful.
I thought he was asking mom that. I really expect too much of Dr. Phil. Yeah, I thought he was asking mom and I was delighted, and then I realized he was asking a 13-year-old. Also, a lot of you pointed out in the last video that Dr. Phil does not have a license. I did not know that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's like a bad person. Dr. Phil is not a great representation of therapists, but there are lots of wonderful therapists who are well educated and great at their jobs, that are like life coaches and like other things that don't have licenses. Licensure is a very tricky thing. I'll make another video talking about licensure at another time. Dr. Phil sucks on his own, not because he doesn't have a license though.
I steal cars. I steal her credit card. I ain't gonna lie, there's no reason to lie. Everybody know already, like.
Did you go to the 5th grade? No, I'm asking, how far did you go?
I'm sorry, why are we clapping that a grown man just dunked on a child? This is like so clearly edited to be funny for like insecure, middle-aged moms.
Well, I stopped at 7th if you want to get technical.
You stopped at the 7th grade. So you did go through the 5th grade.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I was just curious. So what do you think is going to happen when you happen to steal somebody's car that disagrees with that and decides that they're going to drop a hammer on you and prosecute you to the full extent of the law?
Then I do my time in jail. Jail ain't nothing. That's what I always do, and they never catch me. Ain't nobody gonna catch me.
Because you're too streetwise?
Yup. And all these hoes laughing like something funny.
She's talking about the audience, that they're laughing at her.
Did you say the hoes are laughing?
Yep.
So the audience are a bunch of hoes.
Yep.
Like, the shots that they're cutting to, look at this woman's face. She is like, this is the smarmiest white lady that I have ever seen. Oh no. Okay, so is it a problematic behavior that a 13-year-old is stealing cars? Yes. Is it appropriate to make fun of a 13-year-old for not understanding the full legal consequences of stealing a vehicle? No. Is this the most useful intervention that we can conduct? Also fucking no. Like, what the fuck is going on here? I don't understand. I don't understand in that big bald head where Dr. Phil was like, you know what I'm gonna do today? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna bully a 13-year-old on TV. That'll teach her. That will really drive home the point that this person can live a more empowered, peaceful, happy life than stealing cars. Okay, so this is the thing, like one of the most important and impactful questions that parents can ask about their children's behavior is what's the function of that behavior? Because oftentimes kids, when they're doing things that we as adults don't understand, that behavior is an expression of need. My favorite example is when little kids are like being little weirdos and they're like running around and like flapping around and they're like running and like being very like zoomy, right? That child is expressing a need for physical activity. They have way too much energy inside that little body and it needs to go somewhere. And so that kid's not being a malicious asshole and like jumping on your couch to spite you. That kid is expressing to you like, I need to go somewhere, I need to do something, I need an outlet for this energy. And so when we reframe the behavior as an expression of need, your job as like parent or guardian then is like, how can I meet this need? Like, okay, let's go run outside, let's have a dance party, let's like get our zoomies out, let's play a game, let's do something physical to help alleviate this excess energy. So my question then is like, what's the need that's being expressed through this behavior? Because clearly most of us don't enjoy being arrested and having a probation officer and like being limited in this way, right? Most of us don't enjoy that kind of interaction. So like, what need is this child expressing by behaving in this way? But we're not asking that question. We're making fun of her in front of an audience of middle-aged white women who don't know how to apply eyeshadow correctly.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Huh?
Catch me outside. How about that?
Catch you outside? What does that mean?
What I just said.
Catch her outside, and she'll go outside and do what she has to do. That's what she's talking about.
Oh, yeah,
This
yeah,
is
okay,
all,
yeah.
This is all, but don't you see that this is all mouth? This is mouth.
Oh,
So you want to take this outside? Because I think they can bring cameras outside.
Really? Because I think I flipped you.
You want to do it again?
Danny, don't get all tough. Please don't. This is not the place,
Hey,
and this is not
sit
the time.
down.
Sit down.
All right, then.
But like, do you see what I'm saying? So what are we expressing here? Like, what's the need that's being expressed by being overtly violent towards mom? There's clearly some insecurity happening here. There's also a need to be in control and be in charge. Why? What's happening in this house that this child feels the need to behave in this way? We're not feeling supported. This child, I would be willing to bet, does not feel supported or validated or safe with primary caregiver. So this is a self-protective behavior. This is a self-protective behavior that was developed by being immersed in an environment that was not like filled with the healthiest of coping strategies. And so that she's coping in the best way that she knows how. It's not like the best, but again, like this is the thing that we talked about in the last video too, that like this is not something that can't be addressed and worked on in regular therapy. Like if we had brought this kid to a normal fucking therapist when she was like 12 or 13 with somebody who's like compassionate and understanding, I would be willing to bet that the kid would probably sit there for 3 or 4 sessions and refuse to talk. That's very normal. Just whatever, fine. Well, what kind of music do you want to listen to? Let's listen to music. Maybe we'll do some coloring worksheets. We can fuck off. Why don't you talk to me about the music you listen to? But eventually she would would develop rapport with a therapist, talk about what's going on, develop some coping strategies, figure out a support system. We can bring in mom and talk about how mom's contributing to the issue and like work through the things. Like, I don't even work with kids, and this is like a fairly workable issue. I am confident that there are therapists who work specifically with adolescents and teens who have like far and away a better expertise and could deal with this situation like pretty effectively. My question is why we didn't do that. Like, why? It's just like sad and disappointing that this is the route that we chose, you know?
Sit down.
Flip me now. Come flip me now.
Were you and your mom close when you were growing up?
Yeah.
Oh wow, the quality on this is like way better all of a sudden.
You love your mother?
Yes. Oh, here go the waterworks.
Do you want her to be happy?
Yes.
Where's your father in all this?
I don't know.
Do you know him?
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw him?
I don't remember.
Does he have another family? Did you ask to meet that family?
I don't even need to. I don't want to, and I don't need to.
Have you been hurt along the way? Has somebody in your life hurt you? Has somebody in your life taken advantage of you, done something to you that you couldn't fight
Nope.
back?
Nope.
This is exactly how you act with the therapist. You don't talk.
No.
So we have been to therapy, which is encouraging. Good for mom for taking her to therapy, I guess. This is like a very on the nose way to ask the questions. It's not surprising to me that she doesn't want to answer these, but also, again, I think this highlights the issue with Dr. Phil as a premise. I wouldn't fucking answer those questions either on TV. Like, no, I don't want to talk about my trauma history with you and this place, especially after you just made fun of her. You made fun of her and everyone laughed at her in this studio audience situation, and now you want her to open up about her trauma and if she's been hurt by someone. No thanks. I'm not going there either. This is just not set up to actually be conducive for any kind of growth or healing, and it bothers me. It feels exploitative and it's inappropriate, but also, again, like the whole this is how you act with a therapist thing. Like, yeah, probably because they're, first of all, I would be willing to bet if mom knows that she's being way too nosy. Give your kid room to breathe in therapy. You need to butt the fuck out and give her many months of therapy to just be, because usually the expectation with putting a like problematic or behavior problem child in therapy is that like we're gonna fix it right away, and like that's not how it works. Therapy for grown adults who check themselves into therapy, it takes months and months. Even when we know what our own issues are, it can take months and months. And so for a child to first of all develop the trust with a therapist when they don't probably really want to be there can take a long time, but also to figure out what the issues are, to talk about how to fix those issues, to then bring in primary caregiver and figure out how we can set up this environment to make this most conducive for the child's healing. Like, this is a very long drawn out process that we have to be patient for. Again, it's just very frustrating to me that the best solution that we could come up with was parading this child around on a TV show instead of being patient and taking her to therapy, you know? And I understand that therapy is very much a privilege and not affordable for everyone, and I would not be surprised if they didn't have the appropriate means or access or resources. Lots of people don't, and I very much want to validate that. I totally understand that they might not have had access to the best of services, and that is totally fair. However, that's not to say that they couldn't have made some kind of meaningful progress. Them not having access to those resources does not validate the decision to come on this show, is what I'm trying to say.
Your attitude and behavior is very clearly a get them before they get me attitude. It's like, if I'm the baddest bitch on the street, if I go through life like this with my hands up, it's like I can't get hurt because I'm prepared to hurt them first. I'm prepared to always be on defense. I'm prepared to always be tough, and that way I don't get hurt. If I don't care, I don't get hurt. If I don't admit I care, then I don't have to admit to being hurt. So I just, anger and hostility is just a way to hide hurt, fear, and frustration.
So I agree with him, actually. I think that's probably a contributing factor, but I'm confused. Again, then if he's able to see this, why did you fucking make fun of her? Why did you hurt her on this show publicly and humiliate her before you even got the chance to get to know her? But second of all, why are we acting like this is her fault then? This is the thing about this show that's so aggravating to me. Why are we interrogating the 13-year-old and not turning around and asking mom, what the fuck did you do then? Why is your 13-year-old exhibiting highly defensive behavior in a very, like, I'm going to hurt others before they have the chance to hurt me kind of defense mechanism? What are you doing? How are you contributing to this situation? Why are we not talking about this? And why are we assuming that this is her fault? Why are we treating a 13-year-old like she is the one who created her own issues? Like, that's just, ooh, it's not how it works, but it's also like so unfair to her, because any observation that he makes right now, even though again I agree with him and I think that that's accurate, that's gonna fall on deaf ears, because you've made her feel so defensive and like unsupported by you that she's not listening to you anyways. But also, like, this is not productive or helpful to her because you're not addressing the source of this defensive attitude. She just probably feels attacked by that. I mean, I would feel attacked by that. Ooh.
I tell you what I think is, I think somewhere along the line she's been really hurt, and then you get cancer, not once but twice, and so that's very scary for a child. And you guys were very close growing up. I mean, I've looked at the pictures. Her face is not against your face by accident. That's genuine bonding and intimacy. She cares about you and you care about her. I don't think it's an accident that she sleeps with you every night, because I think she has this role she plays, but then she has to touch base to recharge her batteries to go out and play the role.
Yep.
At some point you got to start making your own way in this world and trying to get happy. And you're going to have to figure this out. I don't think this is an evil girl here. I don't think she's the Antichrist at all. I think she's kind of taken on this persona, because you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If you go through life with a get them before they get me kind of attitude,
Mm-hmm.
it's very protective. And anger is a very protective emotion. If you're angry, if you kind of have this rough edge on you, then you don't ever get rejected, because you reject everybody else first.
Yes, like he's right about this, but I'm so confused about why we're not holding mom to task for creating this environment and also not getting the kid the help that she deserves before now. Again, I fully validate, especially if mom has had cancer twice, I am doubtful that they have a lot of money left over for therapy and things like that, but there are definitely resources available. And again, like, having a conversation with your fucking kid is free. Ooh, like, I'm trying really hard not to, like, shame people. Like, I don't want to shame her mom, because I know that parenting is imperfect and everyone is a perfect parent until they have their own children, for sure. I have no idea what it's like to be a parent, and it's impossible for me to say what it's like to be her, you know? But I do think it's important to talk about accountability and responsibility as the parent in this situation. You know, she is the person who is responsible for raising and caring and protecting that child. And if the kid feels like she has to protect herself, there is like a gap happening. This whole show is created with the intent of like soothing and stroking the ego of middle-aged moms. Like, I think it's also not a coincidence, like, with the time that this show airs and like who the show is targeted to. Like, we have a very clear target audience here, and so like this is not intended to be actually helpful for the child, which is so upsetting.
You know, that way you don't ever get hurt. It's not like you want to be accepted and held close, because, and then when people don't, that hurts. So if you come in and alienate everybody and you're pissed off and you push everybody away and you're like a porcupine, then you don't ever feel the sting of rejection. And it's a way to go through life if you have low self-esteem and low self-worth.
Yeah.
And I think that Danielle clearly has low self-esteem and self-worth, which is really sad, because I think she has so many great qualities. I think she's...
Okay, we don't know that she has low self-esteem or low self-worth. That's like a bit of a jump. I mean, lots of people have self-esteem issues, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's some part of it, but that's like a hell of a jump to make. Also, I hate when he talks about people like they're not in the room. She's not an object.
obviously very smart, but I do think she's on a self-destructive course right now. Shane, how do you think she did?
I thought she did very well. I really saw a difference in the way that she was acting, but also the way that she led and was an example to the other girls.
Are you glad you went?
Yeah.
You think it'll help you long term?
Yeah.
You've gotten a lot of attention on the internet since you were here. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Both.
What's good about it?
Well, I guess what's good for you is I made you just like how Oprah made you. You were nothing before I came on this show.
Thank you for that.
No problem.
Oh my god. Okay, so this is the end of part 1. This is the end of the like Dr. Phil portion of this video. Fucking yikes. Like Maui wowie, there's a lot to unpack there. We are going to be talking about Turnabout Ranch and all of the absolutely horrifying accusations in part 2 in Danielle's like own account of what took place and the absolutely horrifying abuse that she suffered. So I have not watched that video yet. I am aware of some of the accusations because y'all left comments about it and I did some, brief research beforehand. But this, like I said, this is the end of part 1. I want to be super clear here. I don't think Dr. Phil's like a terrible human being, but Dr. Phil, like as a TV persona and as like a television show, is terrible. Like it's so bad. Please understand that this is not at all an accurate representation of what therapy should be. In most cases, what good therapy looks like, and far and away not what you should expect from therapy. If you are like on the fence about going to therapy and you're not really sure what to expect, this is the opposite of that. Dr. Phil is not what you should expect from therapy. There is lots of wonderful places and resources to find a good therapist. I always have links in my description for you guys to find therapists and mental health resources and all of the things. So if you are ever wanting to explore that, please check the description. But very much do not appreciate or support or endorse this approach at all. I'm very curious to hear what Danielle has to say in part 2. So if you want to see that reaction come back when we do part 2, that will be up probably not next week but the week after. And that's that. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Would love to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments. You guys know that I love to chat with you, so let me know. If you like the video and subscribe to the channel because we do therapist react style stuff like this, but we also do like a cute educational moment every now and again, so I'd love to have you stay. And then share the video to help the channel grow and to help each other grow, and I will see you guys next Saturday. Oh, and the live stream in 4 hours. Not 8, 4 hours. Live stream in 4 hours. Okay, bye.